Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.
Welcome, mortholes.
Where are we, Dan? Where are we right now? What is this place?
We're back in the podcast studio, man.
This old pirate seat of mine has never felt more comfortable.
Yes, yeah, it's great being back in the Dreamfinder chair.
We're quite literally back in the saddle, my foolish mortals.
Yeah. Talking trailer time. It happened.
Something tells me we are going to get a lot of Haunted Mansion over the next few months here until the movie launches.
It's
in the parks and outside the parks. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Lots of Haunted Mansion on its way, I'm sure. I was just thinking about this. If we don't have some kind of exhibition with like props, sets, costumes, like I want like just gut one man, one dream or whatever, and just fill it with Haunted Mansion stuff. I don't need that. I don't need to see that statue of that castle anymore. Get it out of here.
I agree. You know, Dan, I was deep in the trenches of Reddit yesterday, looking at the comments of this trailer, and apparently there were some people who someone's dad had worked on the movie, and apparently this set for the mansion, the interior set, was huge, and they were using real wood, and all these statues were like real they were
actual
like props.
wood.
They were like like for the floors and for the stairs and the ceiling and the walls.
Whoa.
Everything was like practical. It wasn't like very little of it was filmed on a soundstage, which is what I've heard.
Whoa,
so
really?
That's gonna be fun to see.
That makes me so excited.
It's gonna look so good.
This feels like that Tom Hiddleston Guillermo movie.
Something Peak.
Crimson Peak. This feels like Crimson Peak for kids.
I hope it's Crimson Peak for kids. Crimson Peak for families, I should say. Crimson Peak for kids would be like was it like Vampirella, Casper the Friendly Ghost, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Crimson Peak for family. Crimson Peak was sort of Guillermo's
Haunted Mansion movie.
Spiritual Haunted Mansion movie. Since he didn't get to make the actual one because they used, Dan, Easter egg, the wallpaper from the entrance foyer from Disneyland and Disney World, where you see the Master Gracie portrait on the wall.
Yeah.
And Disneyland is just a cool chandelier. But he uses that same wallpaper in the Crimson Peak movie.
Does he?
Sort of a reference, to the Haunted Mansion.
Get out.
Yeah, true fact.
Well, hey, before we jump into the teaser, let's say hey to the chat and the viewers and the listeners. Hey, guys.
Kenobi, he visits my live streams a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody.
Does he? What are you live streaming?
Hardly ever, but sometimes I do if I don't have a video idea or if there's a live event that I can stream and watch. Like I live streamed Destination D23, hoping for a Figment announcement that never came.
Have you been playing Dreamlight Valley at all?
I have not.
It jumped the shark.
Did it jump the shark?
Oh,
what happened? So you
yeah.
Okay. Before we get into the trailer, Dan, we're going to go quickly over the Dreamlight Valley drama. Tell me what's happening.
They just introduced a premium shop where you can get skins for your house, like fun costumes, fun furniture, but like everything is priced exorbitantly. It's
gone full premium game.
If you convert like the moonstones required to buy like the castle skin for your house, it's like $19.28. Yeah, I know, right? It's like, dang.
See, I haven't been playing too many video games recently. I'm a Halo guy, so that's going to be big on Tuesday. But I also
is Halo coming out
on Tuesday? Yeah,
a new one.
3.
I have the Game Pass. Can we play together?
It is free to play.
But I have the Game Pass, so does that mean I get to does that mean anything special?
Well, yeah, no. The Game Pass lets you play the story for free. The play together, the multiplayer is always free.
Oh, really? Dude, can we Halo together?
We could do some.
Look what I just got.
Spartans.
I just got one of these. I just got a thing. It's an Xbox thing. Cause I have a PlayStation thing, and I got Game Pass, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play High on Life, and I hook up my Sony PlayStation controller. I'm like, do, and and the Game Pass is just like, what are you doing? You
This is
can't.
not the right
you,
controller.
sir. Sir, this is a
That's
Denny's.
hilarious.
We're gonna have to ask you to leave. So I had to go the next day to get a controller because I can't. Do you ASWD?
I can. I don't oft do though. I usually use a controller.
Yeah, you
And
got a
if-
controller. You got a controller. I'm not
I do.
I'm not a QWERTY boy.
No, I can QWERTY, but I don't. I prefer not to QWERT. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, I'm not a QWERTer. I'm not a QWERTer.
I've never been a QWERTer. I can QWERT if forced to. Not on. I can QWERT on command, but I prefer not to.
Yeah. There's some things I can QWERT, like if I'm playing like maybe like that snake
Tread
game.
lightly.
That snake game where you got to eat the dots. That's where QWERTing.
Yeah.
That's where QWERTing comes into like. That's QWERTing's top notch.
Dan
you know?
only QWERTs on snakes.
Yeah, I only QWERT on snakes.
Dan, shall we transition
Somebody
now?
clip this so we can make it a TikTok. That's the. Yeah, let's transition
QWERTers.
now, man.
Okay.
Oh man, can we talk
Okay.
about the poster first? What do we do,
I need,
Dallin?
I need to ask, are we going to play it on the stream or do we want to avoid that and we'll just tell people to go watch it in their own time after this if they
Well,
have
you
it?
know what? I think that we have the ability to play it on stream if we need to show some visuals, but I think just walking through it, everyone watched it now, you know what I mean? So,
It
and now they're
was-
driving, you know, in their to work or something and they're listening to us talk about it. So let's talk about it.
I'm glad to be a part of their work commute. So yeah, let's talk. Oh, so the poster first. Can we show the poster? Is that possible?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
not, we can describe it in excruciating detail.
Okay. So you begin to describe it.
Okay, so the whole premise of this Haunted Mansion movie for the viewers who haven't seen it. Also, if you haven't seen it yet, what are you doing here? You gotta be a true foolish
What do you
mortal.
sleep? What are you sleeping on?
Yeah, what are you sleeping under? A rock? It's essentially like an ensemble-led movie. We have our two main characters, Rosario Dawson and her son. I don't know what their character names are, unfortunately. I only know one of the, well, I guess three of the character names, four of the character names, because three of those are Haunted Mansion characters. But you also have your Owen Wilsons, your Tiffany Haddishes, your Danny DeVitos.
Yeah. And what is Owen Wilson? What is Danny DeVito trying to do? Like, what character is he?
Owen, I thought Owen Wilson was like a priest, or was it the other way around? Is Danny DeVito the priest?
I have no idea. No, Owen Wilson's the priest. Danny DeVito's just a guy.
Danny, I think he might just be a guy. He was so Owen Wilson was the one, like the Nick Fury of the group, going around to like, he's a college history professor. I just had to look that up in my crystal ball.
Oh, is
my
that what it
mobile
is?
crystal ball. Yeah, he's a college history professor. But Owen Wilson's going around gathering this group of haunted Avengers. You got Lakeith Stanfield. He's there.
Oh my God, is that literally what it is?
It looks like, because he's making offers to Lakeith Stanfield to just come investigate this house. Lakeith Stanfield, by the way, is the only character I know his name. His name is Ben in the movie. And very interesting on the poster. No Haunted Mansion wallpaper, nothing like that. But the shadow behind, I believe, Ben, Lakeith's character, is Constance Hatchaway, or may not be Constance Hatchaway, may just be a ghost bride. We're not sure yet.
Oh yeah, we're not sure if it's Constance or not, is what you're saying.
Yeah, we don't know if her name is Constance. It's definitely
Right.
it's the attic bride character though.
Yeah. That's gotta I mean, like, that's just, it's gotta be Constance, right? Like, it
has to be Constance.
She has the hatchet. It's gotta be Constance Hatchaway.
I think we'll be talking a lot about Constance in this video because she takes multiple different forms throughout the trailer, like different almost incarnations of the attic bride taken directly from the ride. On Twitter yesterday, I was retweeting and talking all about it. But you have like the original like 1969 bride in there. You have sort of like a horror looking like zombie like 1990s bride. It's very interesting. You have there's the poster.
Here's the poster.
See,
yeah, that's
Constance
definitely Hatbox's energy behind Owen Wilson for sure, right?
See, I was talking about it in my video.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. It might be. His hat kind of looks Hack's body, Hackboxy. But Owen Wilson is also wearing a very, very similar hat. So I could go either way on that.
Yeah. Do you think that Owen Wilson will come full circle and become the Hatbox Ghost at the end of the movie?
You're saying he might become the 1,000th happy haunt?
Yeah, I'm thinking Owen Wilson, like having like a spectral Owen Wilson going around being like, wow, you know, like everyone would love that.
Okay with that.
Everyone would love that.
I'm thinking now we look what we were talking about earlier, Dan, actually, before we started filming was Ben's pose there with the lantern. Does that seem familiar to
so
you
here's my guess is that Ben is going to fall in love with the mom, stick around, take care of the house, and he's going to become the groundskeeper that we see in the ride. Yeah, right? He's got to be.
Holding the lantern.
Shivering
in the graveyard.
Right, because these movie posters, the guy who made this poster's already seen the whole movie. You know what I mean? So, like, we're going to come back to the poster and be like, oh, yeah, no, it's the groundskeeper. It's Ben. You know what I mean?
Right. And I said to you earlier, I said, if he somehow, like, in his introduction scene, he's, like, feeding his dog or something, you know immediately right away he'll be the groundskeeper. If Ben has
a dog that he, especially in a mask, like a little skinny dog, you know?
Skinny puppy, yeah.
I'm thinking that the dog is already on the property.
You think the dog lives at the mansion?
Yes, I think so.
Because he just develops an attachment to Ben.
Yeah, like he's gonna be, or like maybe he's a spectral dog, like Zero. Like in the movie, we're gonna have like some, like he's gonna be
scary dog.
Yeah, he's gonna be, but like he's a friendly, scary dog.
Right. I think most of the spirits in the mansion are going to end up being friendly. Similar to the we're gonna go back to this a couple times, but the Eddie Murphy haunted mansion, there are a few evil ghosts. Well, I guess in the Eddie Murphy haunted mansion there's only one evil ghost. I think in this movie there will be a couple evil ones, Hatbox Ghost and Constance specifically.
I'm almost certain we put Jared Leto in Hatbox Ghost. He is going to be the Deus Ex Machina, like the ghost that, because he's obviously he lost his head to Constance. We're gonna canonize that. I'm sure
gonna be canon.
That Constance took his head and like in some spectrally kind of spectralness, and like he's gonna be the thing that helps us beat the thing, you know?
So the Hatbox Ghost, because in the trailer, we're kind of hopping around now, but there's a stretching room scene where this chamber has no windows and no doors.
Yes.
And there's a person who's closing off the windows.
I didn't
and doors.
connect the fact that he closes up all the windows because everything
Ghost closes
the
up
windows
the
close
room.
like curtains, but then they turn into walls.
Yeah. He closes up the stretching room. So maybe he's going to be like a fake out, right? Where you think he's the bad guy, but the whole time he's been working with them to help. I don't know. This is the fun part. Folks, this is why you tune in, because we're theorizing, and we're going to be theorizing all the way up until this movie releases.
Right. Yeah, I think that, okay. It would also be hilarious if, like, all the supporting characters kind of became ghosts, because it's a scary movie. That. So, like, what if Danny DeVito becomes, Gus? Phineas, yeah.
I mean, Gus is smaller, so that could be, you know.
Gus is the smallest one with the chain, right?
Yes, Gus is like the prisoner.
Danny DeVito was Gus. Are you kidding me? And then Owen Wilson is going to be the tall one. Ezra. And then we need one more character to be $10 says that these guys become the hitchhiking ghosts because we're going to have a sequel and we're going to want all the endearing characters to return.
If it's good, I hope we get a sequel. I would be okay with that. With a new, maybe not with a new mansion. Maybe with a new mansion. Maybe a Phantom Manor. Like it's in an old Tombstone-esque city in the modern day. That's all, you know.
Yep.
Boarded up.
We're already reverse Phantom Manoring. We're already reverse Kevin Baconing, right? Because you have Danny DeVito now injected into a historic lore Disney property, and you have The Rock injected into another historical lore. And where have they both worked together previously? Jungle Book. So it's like we're seeing the reverse 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon happening before our eyes. Before you know, a Jungle Book crossover, dude. For Frank Caliendo or whatever his name is to show up in, I know you know because you play Mirrorverse or whatever. Frank
Wolf. It's just Wolf.
Frank Wolf. I thought it was Frank Castle for a second. Frank Castillo.
That's the Punisher. Can you imagine if he shows up in the Haunted Mansion?
He kind of does. The Hatbox Ghost's head looks a lot very Punisher shirt, you know?
They're gonna be deader. It's like that's Owen Wilson's line from the trailer, except what's his name? The Punisher.
That Punisher line made me cringe. That was the single line that made me worry the most.
That's one of the only jokes they played in the entire they like showed in the entire trailer.
Right. And that's interesting. How do you translate it's easy to translate the scary of the Haunted Mansion, but how do you to film? Because we already know that, but we don't have a lot of funny scary out there in the world,
right?
And so, especially in film,
when it comes to the Haunted Mansion, it's very much it's not jokes being told; it's visual humor, it's puns in the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Can you translate that over to the movie? They kind of did it at the beginning of Jungle Cruise, like as a joke. Yeah, he was making puns like in character as the skipper. Yeah. So I don't know how they would transfer that.
If I don't get a doom buggy in this movie, like if the characters don't find themselves in a large, like if we don't walk into the lobby of this place and don't immediately see a piece of furniture that is clearly the doom buggy that's going to be used later to like transport a character around the property, I'm out. I'm just going to leave.
I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised with how much respect they pay toward the attraction.
I agree. Yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot of stuff referenced. If the movie doesn't open with them in a black, empty, like boundless void boarding their doom buggies, then I'll be upset. Like at the Disneyland. Speaking of, at the very beginning of the trailer, they play a couple notes of Grim Grinning Ghosts there at the beginning. They did. And the mansion, unlike the Eddie Murphy mansion, is 100%, almost, not quite, to a T, the Disneyland mansion.
Yeah,
it's a New Orleans style, sort of plantation house. The movie actually takes place in New Orleans.
And I really hope that this movie addresses that, especially with society's zeitgeist right now, with acknowledging and honoring America's past and all the terrible things we've done. The fact that we've put a POC family back in that, like Eddie Murphy's family, we didn't acknowledge it at all. It was atrocious, actually. You know what I mean?
Like, mention where that movie took place. Was it supposed to be
Louisiana. Louisiana.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the South. It's the South. And the fact that like this like white ghost summons this black family to like enslave us as pets. It was like this British. Yeah. It was rough watching. So I really hope we get like some that like. I hope we take the plantation house down a peg. You know what I mean? Like I hope that there's ownership of it. I totally think we will. The team behind this will have a lot of ownership of it for sure.
There's a reason they specifically went that route and chose the more controversial sort of architecture for this mansion. They could have just done the Walt Disney World mansion. They could have done the Walt Disney World mansion,
which is a Pennsylvania, which is the Packard house up here, right around the corner from my house.
Dan lives near the Haunted Mansion. Right. We all know that.
But that was a coal mining house, not a slave.
Not the other one.
Slave house.
Them choosing specifically to go with the Disneyland Mansion. It's it makes me think that that's going to be part of the story for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Also, MCU references in there. Did you notice that, Dan? Did you watch my video?
I did watch the video. What was the MCU reference?
There's the scene in the stretching room. The kid's inside a tent, and he's playing with his toys, and he has some MCU toys. He's got Black Panther and a couple of characters stuff. From from like Namor's Kingdom and whatnot. He's got some MCU toys.
That's cool. Yeah. I dig that. That's very Pixar of Disney to do.
Which makes me wonder, because like Disneyland, the Disney parks, it's canon in the MCU. You know, in the Ant-Man, they sing "It's a Small World." In Black Panther, Shuri references going to Disneyland.
Don't think too much about that, though, because your brain will break.
And did you just tell me not to think too much about Disneyland references and things?
You can't. I'm sorry. What was I thinking?
Come on.
How dare
your co-host here?
Yeah. It's Dallin. It's me. It's Dallin.
Come on, baby. You know who I am. I'm Aunt Disney.
It's Dallin.
So we can't let you when you don't have a ticket.
Yeah,
but it's me.
Yeah, but baby, it's
Dallin.
It's Dallin.
Let's talk about Constance for a second, shall we?
Yeah, spooky.
They did a really good job making her scary.
They did. She was spookified. She was terrifying.
So,
especially for kids. Like, we're kind of desensitized to jump scares, but like we're jump scared with very friendly looking things now for kids, like Huggy or Fuzzy or Fluffy, whatever these things are. Whatever these things are that kids are doing now. Like that triangle face with teeth, you know that guy? And then the Five Nights things. Like we're jump scaring, but they're cute. You know,
That's actually one thing I'm genuinely excited for is the Five Nights at Freddy's movie because they got the Creature Shop, Jim Henson's Creature Shop.
I
They're
know.
Muppets now, Dan.
Are you
They're
kidding
Muppets.
me? This is this Creature Shop has come full circle with this movie. Like making the materials for the genre of horror that they helped create.
Yep.
Amazing.
It's so meta. I love it. I'm very excited
much.
for that film.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think? You think Constance is going to be the main villain, the irredeemable monster?
No, I think that Constance is going to be the hurt, not irredeemable. She's definitely going to have some kind of like emotional through line that we have to solve. And like, it's going to be very Calypso Barbosa with Jared Leto.
Yeah, I think very much with this movie, even with like the ensemble cast that we get exploring the mansion, it's going to be very Clue almost. In the Haunted Mansion.
Yes, very, very Clue, lots of that. But I think that there'll be like a Lover's Cross kind of thing, and
right.
like it'll be. I feel like it's so crazy because I keep going back to it, but when you think about it, Pirates did a really good job of grounding the magic and like the absurdity of like some of the series. And
it really did.
And so like the whole idea of like, oh, in order to defeat this monster, we got to find its heart in a box. Like that was like, it's such a simple one beat plot solution to the monster. And like, I feel like this movie is going to do something similar to that. You know what I mean? It's like,
I think so.
Like we got to find Constance's heart in a box somewhere and like bury it or something.
Have you noticed her beating heart in the movie? I didn't see any beating heart in Constance.
That's what I mean, though. That's what's going to full circle it. That's what it's going to bring it. She's going to get her heart put back in her, and that's going to calm her enough to like just haunt the attic. She'll just be like, all right, guys, I'm just chilling in the attic now.
I'm sticking up here.
Yeah. Like that's what I want. I want the film to resolve into beats that I get in the mansion. You know what I mean?
I think that would be really, really smart, Dan, is if at the end of the movie, it comes the mansion we experience in the park.
Right. Yeah. Like at the end of the movie, Constance is like her whatever's resolved. All of her lovers are like stored with her in paintings in the attic.
Still a little mischievous.
Yeah. And the Hatbox Ghost is up there keeping an eye on her. Like, you know, like
right.
they're up in the attic together. You know,
the caretaker bend down below in the graveyard.
Caretaker bend down below. And like all the supporting characters are now the hitchhiking ghosts, you know, that are like, you know, all right, see you later. Like Danny DeVito and wow, you know, like I think that like it'd be great if that like came. Oh, chat wants to know if you're excited about The Mummy, Dallin.
The Mummy, so before they posted the trailer, I said there better be a mummy in here. I'm trying so hard to get the Haunted Mansion Twitter or just someone to acknowledge me that I exist in any way, but I did not see a mummy in the trailer, Dan. I didn't see one at all. No mummy.
No, there was no mummy. There was no mummy.
If there's no mummy, Dan, this movie gets an immediate thumbs down from me.
It's going to be a whole the graveyard is going to be a whole montage. And it's gotta be the finale. You know?
The graveyard, I feel like, is going to be just like, hey, remember that? You remember that? You remember that? You remember these?
Yeah. And I'm sure the singing busts will have like, well, if you pay attention to the trailer, there are busts like in almost every scene.
Don't get me started on the busts, Dan, because when I first started watching, I was like, oh, there's the busts that follow you. Oh, there they are. There's more.
There's busts everywhere. So I almost wonder if like they're like Harry Potter portraits, like, you know, they can communicate, like you talk to one bust and all the busts know, or it's like a way of like, you know, like whatever. I don't know, whatever.
It's a way to communicate around the mansion. They gossip around. I feel like Lakeith Stanfield's, his character is going to be big in this movie because it focuses on him a lot in the trailer.
It's going to be his story in a weird way, I feel like. Well, it's going to be him and the mom. It's clear as day what's going to happen with this. And even if he doesn't fall in love with her, or he might fall in love with her and agree to stay on as the caretaker of the property to like get a shot in the sequel, you know what I mean? We might Gamora Star-Lord this, you know, we might stretch it out.
In the sequel, he's going to have his beard that he has in the mansion. His dog's going to be even skinnier.
Yep. The sequel starts with him like shaking in the graveyard, be like, oh, and then it pans out to like a whole party going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because regardless of regardless of how the movie resolves, he is never still at peace with the ghosts. They always still freak him out. You know what I mean?
I would love that. And I talk about his character because there's one scene in the trailer where it's like, title card, title card, title card, but he's walking through the changing portrait hallway, or through a changing portrait hallway with the man and the pig. And it's just like a man, but the last one, it's, you know, white-haired, crazy-looking man doing this like whole eyebrow
Is it
thing.
his shadow on the stairs?
I think it might be. Maybe.
Instead of Constance?
But that is the ghost host. That is the portrait of the ghost host from the mansion, the Hatchet Man, with the white hair and the crazy eyes and the axe. That is the ghost host. That is Paul Frees's character in the Haunted Mansion, specifically. So I think it'd be interesting to see what happens with that.
How do we work?
Aspect.
How do we work Paul Frees into this? Where do we get him in this?
Yeah, how does Paul Frees come into the picture? So
I already know.
You went to the Disney 100 exhibition. You got
did.
to see Walt the other day.
I did. Walt and I hung out. Yeah. Whew.
That's so good for you and good for Walt. But that's what they're going to do, is they're going to resurrect Paul Frees from the dead with AI speech recognition, and he's going to be in the movie.
I think the kid is going to eat Frosted Flakes at some point in the movie.
What makes you say that?
Well, because then we'll get
Thurl Ravenscroft.
Yeah, we'll get a Thurl Ravenscroft like Easter egg in there, and then I'm sure at some point someone's going to open a book. And it's like, whoa, you know, like there'll be one of those kind of, they'll like, it's like the Wilhelm scream, you know what I mean? Like the that scream that's in like every movie that sound guys like, they'll use like a little clip of him. Or I would love if the credit sequence is the monologue.
Just the regular. I think, man, there's so much to talk about with this movie, because we haven't even talked about the Hatbox Ghost. Well, we talked about him, but we so with the Hatbox Ghost, Dan, and for those of you who are watching, when they announced that Morbius was going to be in the Haunted Mansion as the Hatbox Ghost, I was very afraid. I was very nervous. I still am. I still am. But it's not Morbius in makeup. It's not Jared Leto in makeup. It's not the worst Joker in makeup.
I actually think it's just going to be his voice.
He's just doing the voice. It's a
fully CGI character. He wasn't on set.
He looks like the Hatbox Ghost. They nailed the look of the Hatbox Ghost.
Oh, I thought you meant Jared Leto looked like the Hatbox Ghost in that.
No. The CGI artists nailed the look of
that one little tiny clip. Well, there's two. We have two sightings of him. We have a sighting of him walking. Oh, yeah, I guess 3 sightings. You're right. There's a clip of him walking at the end of the hallway.
Very ominous, very cool.
There's his hat, and then what else does he do?
When he closes the stretching room.
Oh, when he closes the stretching
room.
Yeah, he's in the... But, Dallin, that might be a red herring. He might be trying to stop the house from stretching. He might be trying to stop Constance from locking them away, and she's closing the house up around them.
Interestingly, Dan, I noticed in the trailer, I didn't talk about this in my video either. They only show 2 of the stretching portraits, the TNT Man and Sally Slater above the alligator. They do not show Constance Hatchaway's stretching portrait. Interestingly enough, that one is omitted, and then the 3 men in the quicksand.
Yeah, but aren't the 3 men in the quicksand on the teaser trailer? Like, aren't they seen like on the teaser poster? Aren't the 3 men in the quicksand in the hallway? I felt like I saw them as on one of the hallway ones. Hallway portraits
in the trailer. Maybe I don't. Recall.
I doubt it though. I doubt it. I think I'm sure that hallway will just have all changing portraits.
There is a changing portrait that is in the movie. Besides the Sally Slater and Boris Nitrikov, those are their names. April through December is in the background.
Oh yeah,
of one of the scenes.
Yeah, behind where the living night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
very famous painting that was in that was in Pirates for a couple of years there at Disneyland. A little potential connection there between Pirates and the Haunted Mansion. Right. If you've watched,
could you imagine the sequel, like Frank Wolf and Jack Sparrow show up,
and they're like, Ben, the caretaker, or the Jared Leto, we gotta form the Society of Explorers and Adventurers,
right?
To take down this evil. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, Danny DeVito's character would be a great character for an SEA kind of thing.
Something tells me he's already in it, since he's a professor at a university.
Oh, that's such a good point. Yeah. That like he's brought in, like the SEA sends him there,
right,
to investigate. That's some
because if they're anything like me, they already know about the connection. This is the Hightower Mansion, Dan. This is the Hightower Mansion belonging to one of their oldest enemies, Harrison Hightower, the owner of the Tower of Terror.
The owner of the Tower of Terror, yeah. Just the Tower of Terror in Japan, though, not the one in...
None of the other ones, yeah.
None of the other ones, yeah.
What else did you notice? I still got
Madame
some more
Leota. Let's talk about her.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Leota, played by the incomparable Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee, you were all of us.
I saw your TikTok about that. That has been in my head for the past couple of days. It was great.
Madame Leota did the thing. Hotbox Ghost, my headless king. Master Gracie, you're a genius.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised they did what they did with. They didn't show Ghost Leota at all. Do you think they're going to save that for the movie? They like hinted toward it because her headdress is a big ball around her head that she wears.
Well, I can already down. You can already see the scene. Picture it with me. They're sitting. They're sitting around the seance table. There's a crystal ball. Madame Leota introduces herself, and then she goes full Kate Blanchett beginning sequence of Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring, where she's like, "It hasn't always been like this. Back when I first arrived at the mansion," and then like a little bit of smoke, and like it fades back to like the when the mansion's being built or just being built, and she's walking up, and we see the hatchet, we see the ghost host, and we see Master Gracie, and we see Constance, you know, and the Hatbox Ghost and everything, like in their mortal corruptible, you know.
In their corruptible mortal forms, right?
Yeah, and Madame Leota's gonna say something like that. She's like, back, you know, it wasn't always like this. Back when we all were inhabiting our mortal corruptible forms, and then it fades to a flashback.
You know what's something interesting? We saw all of these characters. I'm looking at the cast list that's been confirmed. Hassan Minhaj. Okay, we haven't seen anything from him. Dan Levy and Winona Ryder. We haven't seen anything of
Winona's in this?
Winona Ryder's in the movie. Do you think, Dan, she might be the bride? Like in a human form, and her like pure, like non-corrupted
yes. Okay,
form.
what are the other names?
Dan Levy and Hassan Minhaj.
Okay, interesting.
What's it gonna be? There's so much to talk about, especially with the potential.
Oh, chat saying that it's confirmed.
Is it confirmed
Winona
she's
is the bride? Yep.
Okay.
So, chat, what else has been confirmed about Dan and Hassan? Anyone know? Let us know.
Tell us. Clue us in.
We got to know.
Who do we know? I mean, I'm curious to see, because I'm assuming they're playing attraction characters we know from the ride.
Winona being in the movie screams a 4-hour shoot day. Like, she was on set for one day. She shot that scene. She was probably there the same day as Jamie Lee. You know what I mean? For that throwback day, like the what's it called? You know what I mean? Like the flashback thing. So
one of our people in the chat is saying he's seen the entire movie. I don't know if that's breaking an NDA. I also want to tread that fine line. I don't want to know any spoilers. I want to go into it not knowing. I want to know the mystery. I like knowing cast. I'm okay with. You know. Yeah, it's fine. If the bride is cleansed at the end and it's just Winona Ryder, I'll be like, yeah, there she is. But I don't want to know what the goal is, what her you know.
Okay, so looking at Madame Leota's costume though, that big huge headpiece, and like that like she has do you know anything about like that inspiration, like where that comes from?
It looks like she's just a really extra medium from like the 1800s to me. Like she's just like super full of herself, like super glamorous psychic medium coming to this brand new mansion. I wonder if
she sets off the events that ends up cursing the home. Like her pompousness, like her like fakeness. You know what I mean?
Like you can kind of get that vibe of Leota in the ride. The Leota Toombs Eleanor Audley one. She seems kind of, you know, a little bit vain, maybe.
Yeah. Like she shows up and her shenanigans kick everything off.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, like she summons something that she shouldn't have.
Because the people behind this movie, they're fans of the ride. I feel like the whole 999 haunts thing is going to play into it also, you know? Like, a house isn't built and then immediately 999 ghosts inhabit it. They have to show up there somehow. They have to be invited
interesting. Yeah. That's interesting. Although that feels like a sequel kind of thing.
How they all got there?
Yep. Yeah.
As long as we see all 998 of them, and at the very end there's a post-credit scene of a mummy, I'll be okay. He gets his entire own post-credit scene where he's
I
mumbling.
don't think there'll be a post-credit scene. I think there'll be a mid-credit scene.
Mid-credits.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Disney does what's correct and what's right here with the SEA series they're doing and ties these movies together. Because if the Jungle Cruise movie and the Haunted Mansion movie and the SEA series are all separate,
they have to.
universes,
Dan.
they have to. Dan, you would think, you would hope, but you never know.
Yeah. How could they not?
How could they not, Dan? Great question. We'll see.
What else from the trailer?
Something else that it's like is a sort of a teaser that Ben is going to be the caretaker. There's a scene where he's standing in front of 6 empty graves, and the only shot we get of the graveyard scene, one for each of the cast members, one for each of the main ensemble members. But there's also this weird, we were talking about it also, shot of like a woman turning from just a live person into a ghost, like a sort of real-time changing portrait. It's very...
That just feels like just a ghost. That just feels like a ghost. You know what I mean? Like,
you think so?
You know what that feels like? That feels like one of the only CGI scenes that has gone through like approval processes. That's like it was just like, all right, we need this woman to transform into like a spooky thing. Oh, we need a CGI shot for here. What's done? I don't know. This, okay. You know, I think that's put it in. Just get it in there.
What else do we got? There's I don't know, Dan. I'm thinking because there's a shot of Owen Wilson running into the library scene from the Haunted Mansion, Walt Disney World, the library from Walt Disney World, very similar to in the layout of the room with books flying at him off of the shelves. So we might see a library scene in there. We
didn't see the solarium.
Was there one?
No, I'm saying we didn't.
Like, right. I was gonna say, I don't know if there was one attached to like the mansion. Like we get that wide shot of the mansion at the very beginning, which by the way is, like I said, it's like almost exactly a clone of the Disneyland mansion.
It really is.
The path up to the mansion follows the same layout,
really,
the same like directions, the twists and turns
that the queue
takes at Disneyland. It's insane. It's one for one. You have like the chain links like on the side, keeping you on the path. It's a one for one recreation of the queue entrance at Disneyland. It's so well done. I love it.
That detail, that's the kind of like, that's everything that the first Haunted Mansion movie was missing. You know? Like all of that kind of stuff. Like everything felt interpreted. This feels very literal.
Right. It's like if someone put their own spin on a Haunted Mansion and sort of threw some Disney in there. This is the Haunted Mansion from Disney, which I love. We
didn't see a floating candle.
We didn't see any floating. Oh yeah, we were forgetting this floating candelabra. There's the endless hallway. There's a scene of the endless hallway in the movie.
There is, but no candelabra. But the hallway is there.
Right.
We didn't get a hint of the seance room or Madame Leota in hers. We didn't get like the organ player.
We got we did. We got Victor Geist. There was a shot of him in there.
But not like this, but like not in action. We just saw it, but we didn't. Right. I can't wait. I'm sure that when he plays, like that will start something. You know, like it'll start a whole sequence. But like I want to see it because like he had those big tails that were coming all the way off his jacket.
And there was a woman next to him at the organ, which is interesting. Not present in the rides. It's like someone like leaning on the side of the organ. I don't know if that's just gonna be like one of the ballroom ghosts hanging out with him, or if that's gonna be a character.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And
we didn't see the attic, did we?
We did. We saw a couple of like in the background of some of the constant shots, I believe, are in the attic.
Some of the attic stuff, yeah. It's weird that like the stretching room was like a office. It felt like.
Yeah, it was almost like a study, like a library almost kind of thing.
And it feels more like a lobby here, you know?
Yeah. And we see the Grand Hall in one of the scenes. The wallpaper is, I say in my video, taken 1-to-1 from the ride in the Grand Hall. It's a scene of Rosario Dawson talking. I can't remember what she says, but she's in the Grand Hall when she says it. And we also see the gargoyles. The gargoyles are also 1-to-1, Dan.
Oh yeah, the gargoyles. And I wonder if they'll talk because isn't it Disneyland that the flames flicker depending on where
Orlando.
Orlando does that.
Yeah, gotcha. Disneyland is very analog, old school Haunted Mansion, but at Disney World you hear the wood creaking, the gargoyles talk, the bats fly around in there. It's all upgraded in there. And I saw someone in the chat mention earlier that it would be awesome if Eddie Murphy was the voice of one of the gargoyles.
Oh my gosh, it would be great. I would love a nod to the original. I don't know if they will, but I would love a nod to the original. I would.
I know. I don't know what they would do. And maybe if it's like just an offhand comment, an offhand Disney comment, I don't know. But what do you think, Dan? What do you think of the trailers? Like, just what are your thoughts on a scale from 1 to 10? What are your overall thoughts on the trailer? What'd you think?
I was happy with it. I'm really excited. It's just
satisfied.
a teaser trailer,
It's not even the full trailer, right?
And like,
It's a teaser.
I'm a big believer of not watching trailers. Like I only do it really for the media that I cover as Disney Dan. Like I'm not usually a trailer watcher anymore because they just give away too much. But the one thing that I do respect about Disney marketing is that they give away too much, but they mislead you intentionally. So
I think that's why we saw barely any Leota in the trailer, is because they're keeping that close to the chest, because that's going to be important.
But we will see. I doubt there'll be anything that we don't visually get to see in the movie that isn't in a trailer by the time the movie comes out, and that bums me out.
Right. Like I think we'll see. Go ahead.
I'm sure that they're going to spoil almost every beat of the ride. Like every tableau that they've pulled from the ride, I'm certain that they are going to show us in a trailer eventually, so that there won't be any surprises, because that's just how marketing is.
Because like, what haven't we seen yet? We haven't seen like the little Leota exit. We haven't seen like the graveyard barely at all. There's like one quick shot and it's facing the ground. So we haven't seen the graveyard at all yet, which I think is very interesting. Seance, like you said. We see, the demon clock. We were talking about how it's very 1-to-1. That demon clock that they show is its own sort of take on the Rolly Crump clock.
Yeah, but the vibes, like I'm fine with them like tweaking things if it lends to the story of the set and the house, because
the demon clock is going to be like they have one night to solve the mystery, and every time the clock chimes,
not necessarily that
happens.
But to say that like that demon clock might look good in the ride, like out of context because it's just whimsical, but like they might have needed to heighten it or change it so that like it fits,
make it more intense,
fits the story of the mansion, like the set dressing, the age, the time period, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so certain things like that, like I said, Crimson Peak, the vibe of that whole, like the set, like everything, I got so much energy from that, like classic Victorian, like really spooky home, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think the
wallpaper, we didn't see the wallpaper or the eyes. We didn't see the eyes.
A weird take on the wallpaper. It was like a purple and black wallpaper, but there weren't any faces, there weren't any eyes. In the scene with the changing portrait hallway. I hesitate to call it that because it's just one changing portrait. Yeah. But that wallpaper is sort of
that hallway
inspired by it, I guess.
Yeah, that hallway that he was walking down, he kept going in front of the same portrait over and over again.
Yeah. I was expecting maybe some eyes to follow him as the reference to like that, the original, concept for the mansion that Walt himself showed off, of the eyes like looking around at the changing portraits.
Do you think we'll get reference to Phantom Manor at all?
I think we'll either get story beats similar to Phantom Manor with Hatbox Ghost and Constance, or if not, just a straight up like Phantom Manor is going to be Haunted Mansion 2 sort of thing.
Yeah. The bride, the Constance, like all that was really developed in Phantom Manor.
Yeah, and they the original Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion was also very, very heavily inspired by Phantom Manor, because it's Tony Baxter gave the mansion a story with that one. That's the only sort of mansion story with the definitive, plot going through it, whereas our American mansions are essentially just like a showcase of special effects and jokes.
Right. I agree. Do you think there'll be any nod to Nightmare Before Christmas?
I don't think so. I think that would be awesome. What would you do? Like just like a Jack Skellington plate somewhere, like it's a skeleton,
or
face?
Gingerbread house, or like some
man-eating wreath.
Yeah, man-eating wreath. Yeah, for sure. That'd be funny.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah, they should. We didn't see the doors.
Oh, the corridor. We did see a door.
We saw a door, but we didn't see like all the doors.
The corridor of doors. No, we didn't.
Ooh, and people are asking in the chat, nod to Jean Lafitte. Think we're going to see old Feety in here.
You never know. We might see a couple feet. We might see, with the April through December portrait, some part of me thinks we might see some reference to a pirate guy who used to live or own the mansion.
Yeah, or do you think that's just fan service? Or maybe they're planting the seeds.
No, they put it in there for me. They know I'm watching it. They put that in there specifically for me.
So how are we going to see this translate into the parks? Like, are we going to get a popcorn bucket? Are we going to get, they got that like Ant-Man goo jug, are we going to get like some kind of fun?
So in terms of the park, yeah, maybe we'll get like a special popcorn bucket or a sipper. But in the actual ride, I made a video about this actually. How long? Like the week before last week's video was about the bat in the cage that they added to the Disneyland mansion, and how that was an old piece of concept art that was eventually sidelined and not put in, but they put it in when the mansion reopened from its holiday overlay, and they took it out suspiciously. Dan, it's gone. No one knows where it went. And my running theory is that they did it with Pirates when Dead Men Tell No Tales came out, with Red and the new transition and that sort of thing in the Pirates rides. They did it with the Jungle Cruise, with the SEA tie-ins and the sort of upgrade that it got when the Jungle Cruise came out same year.
Yeah, but those are two rides that had to be touched because they were inappropriate. Like they were bordering on harassment, and cultural sensitivities. Like they had to go in there and gut. Like I don't think there's anything in the Haunted Mansion that needs to be taken out.
I would agree with you. But the pattern of them doing these on the year that the movies are released, and the fact that the bat was in the house.
You're getting Hatbox in Disney World.
You're getting Hatbox. I already have Hatbox.
Yeah, but that's what they're going to sell as the thing. Like, that's the thing.
Right,
like,
I think
Hatbox goes, he's in the movie now. Now he's in all the Haunted Mansions. Don't worry. You know what I mean? Like,
but my running theory is that someone put that bat in too early. There's going to be something happening with the mansion. Because it's not, because even with like Pirates or Jungle Cruise, they'd put homages to original pieces of concept art that were left out. The frogs that were taken out after like 3 weeks from the Jungle Cruise were put back in. What else? The original tunnel audio from the opening day Pirates was put back in. So the Imagineers usually use these movies coming out as an excuse to sort of touch up the mansion. And I think the bat in the cage is sort of something that was maybe put in too early, and we'll see.
Do you have an inside source on this?
Concepts for the mansion, huh?
Do you have an inside source on this?
Nope. I don't have any inside sources. Disney doesn't talk to me.
Yeah, but you still could have friends. I get ice cream scoops all the time.
I need to hear all of your ice cream scoops as soon as this ends, but I have no inside sources. I just want the wax candle man, Dan. I just want the candle man in the haunted house.
Pandas?
Put them in there.
Pandas? Well, panda, cat.
One panda.
Dragon. Those are my scoops. That's a teaser for the listeners. I'll tell you what the three things mean off the air.
I know that the red panda's coming to Shanghai. That's all I know.
Ooh, not just Shanghai.
Pandas. Is it not to Shanghai? Oh. I'm not a big character guy, so you're all over that. So you'll have to let me know. Well,
Papa is over here. Hey, it's Dan. It's me. You know me.
It's Dan.
I'm the character guy. I'm the character
guy. Let me in.
I'm the character
guy. The character. I'm letting Dan. All right. So overall, Haunted Mansion trailer, I would say set your expectations accordingly. With the full trailer, we'll probably see more of what the tone is going to be. They very much leaned into the horror with this one. It might not be what the actual movie's like. We'll end up seeing though when we get more stuff, and eventually this summer, Dan. It's only a couple months away from the whole movie.
I know, we're so close. I can't believe how close we are.
Well, they actually moved it forward because it was going to be, I believe, in like August or November, and then
I hope
Ant-Man and the
Ant-Man and the Wasp messed it up. You're right.
It messed it up, so they were like, we have to push back the Marvels to put more work into it because people are not digging the MCU right now. So they pushed Haunted Mansion forward and pushed the Marvels back.
So I wonder how long the movie must be done, like entirely done.
I'm assuming they might be.
Someone in the chat just said they watched it. So, I mean, I'm sure that they've finished it. Like, I'm sure that it's done.
It's pretty close.
And this has been shooting for a while, hasn't it?
I don't know when they started shooting it, but I do know that there might be a couple tweaks, you got a couple more months, but I'm pretty sure like everything is filmed, everything is done.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. like getting like the merch we're gonna get, like the hype we're gonna get. Like, you know, it's just going to be fun for a minute. Like, and I like, you know, it's fun, like t-shirts and, you know, whatever, like magnets, but I like the expensive merch that comes out of like a popular Disney movie.
Expensive merch.
Yeah. Give me that expensive merch. You know, like, cause Pirates did it, like lots of cool pirate stuff, you know, like, and heck, we even put Pirates props into the ride, like the treasure chest, you know? So like I could see. And it's got a good cast. It's got a diverse cast. It's got like in terms of like not just like it's like their diversity but also their audiences from Danny DeVito to Rosario Dawson to like like oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Comedy,
like
you have some dramatic actors in there, mostly comedy actors. But
so I think there's a good chance. I think there's a really good chance of doing good.
I hope it's good, Dan. I hope it's good so bad.
I mean, me too. How disappointing.
Like
expectations are low.
Expectations are low. Expectations are always low for these movies that I have high hopes for. Like, I hope it's good so bad, but I'm expecting for it to be terrible, so I don't have to feel bad about it. You know,
they're not dumping it right on Disney Plus, which is something to say. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like one of those projects. Like they want it in the theaters, so that's a good sign for me in terms of it's quality, you know?
Even just general audience reception that I saw to that teaser yesterday, people who aren't even necessarily Parks fans thought it looked pretty decent and even a little spooky for a Disney movie. So I'm excited. I'm excited, Dan. I'm excited. I hate to say it, but I'm ready. I'm hyped. And I'm ready, like you said, for the expensive merch. Bring me more Haunted Mansion stuff. I need to decorate my office.
Yeah. And I hope this spawns like a fun VR experience, maybe.
It was like an ARG online where all your computer's haunted by a ghost and you gotta exorcise it with the help of Owen Wilson.
Now, would you like Jamie Lee to revoice Madame Leota in the ride or anything? Like, how would you feel about that? Like, if she got popular.
I think Disney is over that phase of just putting movie stuff in the rides with pirates and stuff like that. Because Jungle Cruise had The Rock. That's a huge actor, and they did not put him in the attraction.
That is such a good point.
I don't think we're going to see any actors from the movie put into the mansion in any way.
That's such a good point. Yeah,
we're not going to see anything change. We're not going to see anything directly reference the movie, I should say. Like the Hatbox Ghost in Orlando and Anaheim are still going to have that classic design that we have today. It's not going to be the new design from the movie. It's not going to be voiced by Jared Leto. It's going to be the Hatbox Ghost that we have, you know?
So any final thoughts on the whole thing?
I'm hoping this movie is an excuse for them to replace Constance in the attic. That's my final thought.
Like put a new animatronic in?
I don't like the current Constance. I don't like. She's the one I grew up with, and I saw the original at D23 at the exhibit. So good, so good. I would like a new Constance animatronic. Yeah. Final thoughts.
I think that's overdue, for sure. And I am excited. I'm excited to get back the backstory on the grandma who's blowing out the birthday cake in the ballroom.
Yes, that's very. I want to see the life, upbringing, and sort of motivation of the ghost that's passed out drunk underneath the table. How did he end up there? Dan, have you ever wondered what's behind the ghost passed out drunk under the table? Our Imagineers have been hard at work blue skying.
I tweeted that. Does anyone ever wonder? Have you ever wondered what's behind the Haunted Mansion?
Turns out, Dan, can you imagine they come out of D23, they go, do you ever wonder what's behind the Haunted Mansion? Everyone's laughing. And they're like, we took inspiration from our fans. We're opening up a brand new Haunted Mansion style resort with a dinner show.
Yeah, that's all I can hope for, Dallin. That's all I can hope for is that this becomes so popular it must become a hotel.
There. Yeah. Just invite us for the opening.
Yep. Yeah. Yellow Shoes, call us.
A more fully realized bride. That would be really good. Yeah. Stories of all 999 haunts. Yeah, see, Dan, I'm a stickler for Haunted Mansion canon. People are like, oh, yeah, you got to read this Haunted Mansion book. It tells you all the backstory behind the Hatbox Ghost or all the backstory behind this or that. And I'm like, if it's not done in the park, I don't usually consider it canon. You know, if it's not in the ride or if it's not referenced in
oh man, as someone who just did an hour-long video on Figment, let me say to you that when it's not happening in the park, things can get buck wild.
Believe me, I know.
When you give someone artistic license to be like, oh, hey, yeah, go ahead, have fun with it. It's like, well, you never know what you're going to get.
Right. And what I'm saying is, like, just because something is confirmed as canon in the movie does not mean that it's confirmed as canon in the ride. Like, if they give the Hatbox Ghost a name, oh, his name is Bruce. Bruce the Hatbox Ghost. His name is Bruce now. That doesn't mean his name is Bruce in the ride. It is still a Hatbox Ghost. You know what I mean? The canons are separate.
What if
maybe
his
maybe
name
not?
is
We'll
what
see
if his
in the
name
movie.
is Harold Arnold Tabox? And so his initials are H.A. Tabox. And so everyone just calls him Hatbox.
His name is literally like Jeremy Box Ghost or something like that.
Yeah. Hatticus Boxicus.
Boxian Ghostian.
Yeah, Hatticus Boxian. It's like, good evening, madam. I am Hattius Boxican.
And then when he dies, they're just like, well, it's the ghost of him, so it's Hattius Boxian Ghost.
Yeah, we chopped off the bottom half of him. Just chop off the bottom half of the 2 words.
Can you imagine? It's like at the end of the movie, they're like, so Hattian, what are you gonna do now? And he's like, it's not Hattian anymore. And he turns to the camera. And he goes, call me Hatbox. And then it cuts to the credits.
Yo, not even that. He turns to the camera. He's like, it's Hatbox time.
I'm a Hatbox all over this mansion.
It's time for me to quirt.
Time to me to quirt. I'm gonna quirt all over this Hatboxing mansion. Just you watch.
Hatbox McQuirty.
And then he does his Joker laugh.
Oh my gosh.
Hatbox McQuirty.
Well,
all right. Anything else before
Foolish
we wrap this
Mortals?
up?
We did it.
Foolish Mortals. We're back-ish. We'll see. I like
No, we're back. We're back.
I think we're back.
Sister Act is open. My giant Figment video's done. People are having a good time.
He's a big-time actor, folks. Did you hear about that? He's hitting the big time.
I'm not. It's not big time.
He's hitting the big time. He's got his name up in lights. He's on the marquee.
I'm on a new billboard. I just found out that I'm on a billboard out of town as King Arthur. I have to go. I'm going to go see it. I'll try to go see it tomorrow or something.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thanks.
I can't see your show because I live on the other side of the country, but I'll be there.
You live in the middle of the country.
In the middle of the country, but I'll be there in spirit as a happy haunt.
And out of body experience.
Yes, save a seat.
You're gonna DeVito.
Reserved for the foolish mort holes, and we'll all be there in spirit.
Yep. Well, until next time, you mort holes.
Hurry back.
Hurry back.
Hurry back.
Hurry back.
Hurry back. Hurry.
Do you think that they're gonna say that? Do you think they're gonna say that in the show?
Oh, at the end, like at the very end of the credits, you'll just hear them like, 100%.
The Haunted Mansion will return in the Hurry Back.
Yeah, the Haunted Mansion, Haddington Boxius QWERTY will return.
And Kang Dynasty.
The Hatbox Ghost will return in Avengers Secret Wars.
Yeah, Secret Wars. He's the Beyonder. Jared Leto is the Hatbox.
It's like, oh, Spider-Man, we need some help. Captain America, we're going down. He's like, don't worry, I'm here.
Multiverse.
Who is that?
Anything's possible.
That's something we haven't heard before. Hatbox Ghost.
All right, bye, everybody.
Goodbye. We'll see you in Avengers Secret Wars.
Foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.